Don't you just hate it when you go to your favorite Chinese restaurant for dim sum and you order up a plate of steamed spare ribs and you get this really tiny plate filled with a couple of scraps of spare ribs, and they charge you like $3 or $4 for it? I mean, I get it. Dim sum is supposed to be little small portions and not to be so big like it's a buffet or something. But even then, can't they throw in just a few more scraps? Well, I'm gonna teach you how to make it at home, and it's going to taste the same way as at dim sum restaurants. But to make it properly, follow my few tips and you're gonna be on your way to some dim sum style steamed spare ribs. So right here, I have 500 grams of spare ribs. I know it's a lot. You can always half this recipe if you wish. So to this 500 grams of spare ribs, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That's right, baking soda. Not only is this great for making your cakes puffy and also taking the stink out of your refrigerator, it's also really good for tenderizing your pork. Next, I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to rub the solution into the pork really well. So this step here is one of the most important steps. You must not skip it. If you want this to taste exactly like the dim sum restaurants, then you're gonna have to remember to do this. And then just leave it alone for 15 minutes. One moment, those birds outside, they're really distracting. I don't see any birds, but I can hear them and they're really, really distracting. Can you hear the birds? Hey, go away. They're not listening. Anyways, after the 15 minutes, you rinse the pork with some cold running water. This will help get rid of the baking soda as well as clean out the blood from the pork. And you just wash the spare ribs until the water runs clear. And then you just leave it in the water for 20 minutes. And after that, you drain. Put the spare ribs in a strainer and just dry out the pork as much as you can. And now we have to make a very yummy sauce that starts with 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, and then we drop the garlic into a bowl that we're gonna use for the marinade. And we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing wine, 1 tablespoon light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon sugar, half a teaspoon MSG, 1/4 teaspoon ground white pepper, and then we just drop the pork into the mix. It smells so good already. All right, so after a few minutes of mixing, I'm gonna drop in a tablespoon of corn flour. And just continue mixing until there is a milky white color on the outsides of your pork spare ribs. A few minutes later, just add a teaspoon of cooking oil. And just continue mixing for another minute. Next, just cover it up. Okay, ideally, you want to marinate this overnight. When my mom made this for dinner, she would marinate this during like the morning time or afternoon time, and then she would just break it out and just steam this for dinner. But if you are short on time, 30 minutes minimum is better than nothing. All right, so traditionally we add just a couple of slices of sliced chili. And these larger chilies, they're not, well, they're a little bit spicy, but they're not gonna totally affect the entire flavor of your pork spare ribs. So this dish is family friendly, but you can add as much as you want or as little as you want. It is entirely up to you. And we just break out about a tablespoon of daoxi. Daoxi is a salted black bean. This is actually soybean. And it's a very, very popular ingredient in Chinese cooking. And then we also drop in some of our chilies. Okay, so game time. So I got my steamer pot there steaming on a medium-high heat. And I'm going to steam these pork spare ribs. I'm gonna steam these pork spare ribs for 13 minutes. Oh, it's hot, hot, hot. Oh man, doesn't that look good? I'm telling you guys, you definitely have to try this one out. It tastes the same as the Chinese dim sum restaurants. But again, I do make deliveries. I take Bitcoins and camels as payment. I'll see you all next time on another Dim Sum Thursday recipe.